Hi, I'm Susie Miller, the Better Relationship Coach, and I'm committed to helping you create better relationships in just 30 days or less. And on today's episode of Better Relationship TV, we're going to be talking about timing. When you have the conversation can have an incredible impact on the outcome of that conversation. So good, bad, or indifferent, timing does affect how well the conversation goes. When we were first married, I was not good at timing. My idea of a good time to bring up a conversation is right now. When I think of it, when it's on my mind, when I'm struggling with it, when I feel it. And I learned over time that that was not the most effective time to have the conversation. I had to step back and observe and learn when my husband had the energy and what I call RAM space to talk about the subjects that I want to talk about. Now, a great example of that is when our kids were little and I was a stay-at-home mom, and he would walk in the door and I would be excited about the day, or I would be frustrated about the day, or the kids had something coming up, or the toilet was leaking, or his mother called, or all those things that happened during the day. And he was the first person over the age of, 3 or 5 that I had talked to. So I just talked with him and just, told him everything that was going on. And he would kind of stand there, kind of back up like this, his eyes real big, like, what did I walk into? And so needless to say, those conversations didn't go real well because I wanted him to engage, and he really honestly just wanted me to be quiet. He wanted to come in and put his stuff down and say hi to the kids and greet me and have dinner and then deal with all the stuff that happened during the day. And so over time, as I learned him, I was able to plan when to bring up things. Now in my book, Listen, Learn, Love, I talk about the skill of learning them. What it means to really get to know your spouse. Learn when they have energy and RAM space to listen to the hard things or even the excitement and the new ideas. I remember when our kids were teens and I had this great idea for this family event and a project, and John had come in from mowing the lawn and he was hot and tired, and I was like, I've got this great idea. And the last thing he wanted at that moment was an idea. So I had to learn really to back off and think about even when I talked about the fun things. When our kids were teens, this idea of timing really helped. John was really good at stepping back and knowing when to push a conversation and when to let it go. I had to really learn that from him because I tend to just push it and let's have it, let's hash it out. And one of my kids, that was absolutely the wrong way to get through to them. Another one of my kids loved to debate, and we could get through all kinds of information and kind of hash things out really well and leave the conversation fine. The other one felt like it was a fight or an argument, and she needed time to back off and plan and think through what she wanted to say. So be aware of your husband, your kids, and the timing that's good to talk to them about hard things, about important things, about fun things. Take the time to figure out when's a good time to talk about stuff and when's not a good time to talk about stuff. I learned that before bed, when he was all ready to go to sleep and I'd be like, oh, I want to talk to you about something, really never went very well. He wouldn't want to talk, I would be disappointed, and it would just end up with this tension. One of the things we did was we began to take a walk after dinner, and we would talk about the day, we'd talk about what we wanted to address with our teenagers, or needs or wants or fears. It wasn't a long discussion, but it really allowed us to touch base and share things, and we kind of knew that time was set aside, so we went into the walk thinking we're going to kind of decompress and debrief. And that was a really helpful thing, especially when our kids were teenagers and they were around all the time and there was a lot to talk about. Take the time to get to know your spouse, when they have energy, when they can be mentally present, when is a better time to just tuck it away and wait to talk about it later. That will really help your conversations go well. And we'll learn about timing together. So that's my tip on Better Relationship TV, and I'll see you next week.